morning, good morning, good morning. It's your girl, Becky D, live in the morning, 5 days a week, 7 a.m. If you missed the July 1st podcast, please go back and listen to it. Again, it feels great to be back and doing this, what I love, what I know to help motivate people in the morning. Just 7 to 10 minutes of your time. That's all it takes. For most people, that's a drive right up the road. And for others, that's just, a little break at a light, okay? Especially depending on what stoplight you at. Those stoplights tend to go on for hours. But this week, I want to focus on positivity, all right? One thing that a lot of people don't realize is that smiling hurts no one, okay? Literally, a smile can help somebody out in ways that some people wouldn't even imagine, right? One big thing that I always take into account, no matter where I go, where I'm working, or what the situation may be, I always take into account, I never know what the other person has just went through that day, okay? I'm going to take you back to my first year of teaching. Not my first year of teaching. I'll take that back. That would have been my fourth year of teaching. It's my first year in middle school. Got to get the timeline right. It throws me off. My first year in middle school teaching. And it felt like, a lot was happening at one time, right? I'm new to middle school. Just one content now. And it's just like, okay. On top of all of that, I lost my grandfather. And I was like, man, are you serious right now? Right? Anybody knows me, I'm a killer for family. Family is first and foremost in my life. And I always make sure that, I keep that in mind. And so every day, I was going in there with a smile. And thankfully, my family was able to have the service on a day that I could get off. Because, it was fresh to the start of the school year. So it was just all happening at once. And I'm sitting there and, I keep coming in smiling, having all this happiness and gratitude and showing all this love. And the kids kept being so disrespectful. They were just talking constantly and trying not to listen and not hearing me. And so finally, I just stopped. I was like, guys, can we have a moment? Can we talk for a second? And so I sat them down and I was like, this morning when you saw the principal and the vice principal come into my classroom and they just kind of surrounded me and gave me a hug. I was like, did anybody wondered what that was for? And everybody, sitting there was like, oh yeah, we noticed it. We just thought you wanted an award or something and this and that. And I was like, y'all need to, first of all, learn how to read a room. But second of all, I was like, they did that because the other day when I could not be here, I was literally burying my grandfather. And everyone in the room suddenly felt like crap. Because they're like, yo, we sitting here making this woman's life 20 times harder than it needs to be. And every single day she came into this room with a smile. And we couldn't even tell that she was hurting on the inside. Literally, for the rest of the class, they were quiet. We were able to get a lot done. But it was just they then saw the importance of not taking someone's smile for kindness. And just, you know what I'm saying? They're just a super nice person. And they're going to be, throwing candy out at us. And it's going to be Miss Frizzle all the way. I had to teach them that some people have pain behind their smile. And then some people need that smile, right? Because the last school year that just passed, I had a student come in and literally every single morning I could count on her. She'll come in and she's like, hi, Miss Davis. Good morning. How are you? And it was just every day followed by a smile. And then one day she came in and she just said it. She was like, hi, Miss Davis. And I was like, whoa. It wasn't the cadence. It wasn't the happiness and the perkiness. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the cheerfulness that I get in the morning just to change my day around. And I stopped her right at the door and I was like, are you okay? And she stops and she's like, no, I'm not. And I was like, I could tell. She was like, but I just walked into the room. How could you tell? And I was like, you always walk into my room with a smile. And you dance and you kind of jump and skip and all this stuff. And today you just nonchalantly said good morning and just walked into the room. And so the last day of school, I made sure that I told her how much her smile actually helped me through a very difficult school year, because I had a lot going on. That was this year. It was a lot going on. Oh my gosh, you should definitely watch the YouTube video when it comes out. But I told her, I was like, literally, I could count on my day turning around by you coming to class. Because when you came in with a smile and just a simple hello, it made my day. And I was like, I don't know what other teachers you did that with and how they received it. But I was like, for me, it made my mornings. And I started noticing other students, making sure they come into the room with a smile, and I will always stop them at the door and be like, hey, what are you doing? Why aren't you smiling? Like, what's going on? And then they'll just talk about it. I was like, all right, can we leave it here? Can we move on past this, right? And then some people didn't talk. But then I heard stories through their parents and they were like, oh my gosh, my daughter loves your jokes. And I was like, that's weird. I've never seen her face. Like, some kids still wearing masks and stuff. And she's like, no, she thinks you are hilarious. And she's just grateful because you're one of her nicer teachers. And I'm like, but I feel like I'm mean. And then in the back of my head, I'm really thinking, you should sit in the class. I am awful. But it's the joy that I let radiate from me. You know what I'm saying? That even though it's been chaos on top of chaos, and all these other things, that I am able to still radiate positivity into the world and uplift somebody else. She didn't talk to me, but she was talking to other people apparently. Because somebody's like, yeah, she was over there yapping my ear off about how she can't wait to get to your class. And I'm like, what? But she doesn't talk. I can't tell she's enjoying the lesson, right? But it's the small things like a smile that we do that people don't notice is changing a life every day. Like when I go into my job, I smile. I'm being, very cheerful as I could be. I've been drained, completely tired, exhausted. And I'm still going in with a smile. I'm like, hey, I'm here. You here. We both got to be here right now, right? Because this is our scheduled time. We're going to get through this with a smile. I never forget in high school, one of the guys who rode my bus, he was like, hey, yo, Becky, how come your dad always smiling when I see him? And at the time, I really didn't have an answer. I was like, yo, I don't know. Like, I was like, can we stop talking about the guy? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because he got a big mouth or something. I don't know. Like, he does have a very big smile. And so, literally recently, it was just like, man. And I've never asked him, and maybe I should. But it's literally just because he knew the power of a smile. That it could literally transform somebody's day. Even if you don't know them. When I go to the store and I, making a transaction, I'm buying something, and the server or cashier, whoever the case may be, could have been horrible. They could have been rude, right? Don't get me started on my Krispy Kreme experience. But I went to a Krispy Kreme and the guy was, one, nervous, and two, I think it might have been his second day working, and three, he was young. And so he felt pressured. I came in with the most confusing order ever for donuts. And he was just, all over the place. And I just kept smiling, Now, I was a little annoyed. There might have been a little annoyance in the eye because I'm like, dude, I just want a donut. Like, can we get to it? Even though I'm not supposed to have it. We're not going to talk about it. But I just smiled at him. And when I left, like I always do, I said, I hope you have a great day. Or I hope you have a great rest of your shift, Or like, oh, I really appreciate all that you've done. Y'all, they're in the service industry. That doesn't mean we have to treat them like crap. Okay, when I say them, I mean those people who are cashiers, servers, waiters, bussers, greeters, anybody in the service industry, okay? Customer service, right? They're here to help you, but they're not here to be talked down to, or cussed out and all this other stuff. Never forget when I was working for a bank that will remain unnamed. I worked in their bill pay. And literally this guy is on the phone. He accidentally used bill pay to send money to a friend and needed the funds back and all this, just typical mistakes. And so he started coming at me sideways. And all I was trying to do was trying to tell him, sir, I can't stop a check that is literally like en route to him. I really can't stop it because it's a holiday, and like he wasn't understanding. And so I was, trying to put all my wow features on. And then finally I was like, okay, you know what, sir? I'm going to get you to a supervisor. Please hold. I've never had a supervisor call me back and was like, don't you ever send somebody like that to me ever again. Because, he was cussing the whole time on the phone. And I was like, what? She was like, I had to send him to my supervisor. And I was like, dang. And she was like, and then he hung up the phone because he was like, why were we still dealing with this guy? So literally, they have all rights to hang up on you, but they don't, because they want to make sure that your concern is met, okay? You take the frustration out on the wrong people. But then there's people like me in the world who just smile and say, thank you. I understand that this, frustration that I feel is not towards you, and I'm not going to take it out on you. I've only had one lady while I'm working in the service industry come back and apologize for her behavior, for something that I cannot control and I had no control over. But she came back later and she was, I was heated. Oh boy, was I ready to go. But she came back and she was like, I just wanted to apologize. My behavior was ugly. What I said to you was very rude. And I really feel like crap. And I appreciated that she took the time to come back and actually apologize to me. Because literally, I could have had her kicked out. I was like, no, we're not doing this today. We're here to have a good time, right? Get her out. But I didn't. Because I've been there and I understand that sometimes the situation is so frustrating that you just take it out on the person who's trying to help you because there's nobody else to. But the fact that I just kind of smiled through it, it probably really confused her. So today, share smiles, right? You ain't even got to like the person, but just smile at them and keep smiling at them every single day when you pass them. It's going to drive them up the wall. It's going to get on their nerves, but it may help them in the end. You guys, my name is Becky D with Becky D in the Morning, and I will definitely be ready to talk with you all tomorrow morning.